Alright, what's up YouTube? So today I'm going to try to build a waste oil burner out of just a bunch of scrap materials I have laying around. We've got this wood stove out here, but it doesn't keep it super hot because there's no insulation in here. So I'm thinking about making this thing and just planting it over here somewhere. And call me ridiculous, but I'm going to try to use this King cooker thing. I won it at a raffle. I don't know what to do with it. It's literally been sitting in my basement for like a year, so I'm gonna see if I can use it to make some crazy stuff. Let's see what's in here. Alright, so I bolted this whole stand thing together. I think what it's going to be is it's going to be one of those drip feed ones, and this little thing where the propane that you usually hook up is supposed to like spray out of. That's just going to be my drip spot for the oil, I think. I watched some videos on people that have made these things. They're all pretty hacked. This one's going to be really hacked. Alright, so there is a very high chance that this won't work. But here's what my design is so far. So I'm going to have this thing kind of sit on here. I'm going to drill a hole in there, run this line in for my oil drip feed thing. Then that, I'm going to weld that on there like that. And then try to weld that on there like that. And then try to make some kind of a, I don't even know, like a smokestack or something. We'll see if this works. It's worth a shot, I guess. Literally all free materials. Like I said, I won this in a raffle. This thing probably cost a bunch of money, but like, it literally sat in my basement for a year. It's never gonna get used. It was gonna get thrown in the trash, so we're making the best out of it. Okay, so I'm trying to bend this straight piece of metal into a curve, a decent like 3-inch circle. Just so what I want to do is cut a slot out of this piece, kind of like marked, and then have this band go around it and just slide up and down. And that way I'll have a little door and I'll just be able to slide this ring around it and up and then pull it down. Alright, so I put this thing in the vise and I was able to bend it. Now I'm just trying to bend it as much more as I can. Alright, so I got this piece bent pretty well. It's not perfect, but like if you look at it, it's pretty good. And I might be able to bend it out a little more, but I'm just going to cut this about here. Alright, so I got to take a slice out of here. And then I'm going to take 2 cuts going this way. Those I'm going to do with that grinder, but for this one I'm going to use everybody's favorite tool, the Drill Master Cutoff DIY cutoff saw. I had somebody tell me that this wheel was unsafe, and they're right. Hey, look at that. It didn't blow up this time. So now what I'm gonna do, just cut some lines here and here, cut that little section out. Son of a bitch, it wasn't this one that died. Look at that wheel. Okay, so here's how this is gonna work. We got that piece, like that, and that's our little door, and then this just slides right over and blocks it off. It is not at all even close to airtight or anything, but it'll work. Nice and simple, that's what I like. I'm going to try to do some welding into here. I don't even have any idea if it's going to work. This is a cast piece. I don't know if it's cast iron, cast aluminum, what it is. But to be completely honest, I don't really care. If I can lay a bead, that's all that matters to me. Alright, before I weld this, I'm going to drill some holes in this thing. Mostly for air circulation and then one piece for this drip line. Alright, so I've got this old brass valve and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make it work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put all my waste oil up in like a big 5-gallon drum and mount it up on the wall or something. But you got to have a control so you don't just have an assload of oil flowing down. So I got this valve here. It came from some renovation. So this valve, you know, is like 100 years old for water. And this is copper right here. But this little piece from the Honda Davidson slips right over. And again, you try to just put a bead in there. Oh, it's not going to weld. Well, it probably won't weld very well, but it might. So bear with me here. If it doesn't, I've got other things I can use. Silicone, tape, anything. As long as it's tight. Then I got to figure something else out to make it, reduce it down to here. Maybe just do a bunch of welds and fill it up. We'll find out. Alright, so I've got a whole bunch of holes drilled in this thing. But yeah, now I'm going to take my little oil feed pipe, wherever I put it. Give it a little bend and then drop it in there. So I got a little bend in this, and just put it in the vise and bend it with my hand. I'm just going to slide it in one of these holes, kind of weld her in place like that. I'm not going to show a bunch of welding shots because really, who wants to watch that? I'm just going to show you step by step what I'm doing and just not include every welding shot because I just don't think it's that exciting. Alright, got this thing welded onto here. That's how it is in there. Now I'm going to weld this washer on. I'm going to weld this to this washer to extend that pipe. Alright, so I actually just welded this piece onto here. And actually welded okay. I know these welds look really, really bad, but it holds and that's all that matters. For me at least, for right now. It smells kind of weird. Next thing I gotta weld on is probably that pipe that goes. And before I do that, I might even try to weld these two pieces together. Okay, so as to be expected, this did not weld well at all. It just kind of bubbled way up, but there are spots that it actually welded. This is welded on there right now, so did it work? Yes. Did it work well? Not at all. I might try a little more though, just see if I can fill up that gap or anything. Alright, so I got this whole thing welded on, but I think we might have an issue here. I'm not sure this valve still seals. I think I might have melted any of the seals in there, so that's a problem, but I'm going to weld on the brake rotor here now. Alright, I just filled the holes in this brake. This came off my Jedi. Alright, so I went around and I tacked this thing on in a whole bunch of places. Yep, aluminum, steel, welded. Brass, steel, welded. Can't do it, I guess. Impossible. Will these welds hold with force? Absolutely not. But I'm going to put some of this stuff around them. Alright, I'm going to drill a hole in this thing right up about here because this thing is a little bit slanted. And this is the highest part. I'm going to be using these Vermont American hole saws. Got these at Home Depot. They're such garbage. Don't buy them. Alright, I'm going to drill a hole in there and see how it goes. So, I wasn't kidding when I said those hole saws are garbage. Look how bad that hole is. Alright, so now I'm going to weld this pipe into here. Alright, so I just tacked that on in a bunch of places. It's super hard to weld to this stuff because it's so thin and it's aluminum. Alright, so I got some of this metallic tape stuff on here. It's rated to pretty high heat. I don't remember quite how hot it's supposed to get. It doesn't say anywhere on the roll. It did before we opened it, but that was a while ago. But I know it holds up pretty well because we've got it all on here. But like right here on the top, and it's just fine. It's been that way for over a year now, so it doesn't seem to mind. I mean, we can kind of smell it melting a little bit the first couple times, just the adhesive on it. But I think that should be fine right there. I want to see if I can make this thing work. Alright, so I got this thing lit. And it's going pretty good actually. Look, you know, it's burning pretty clean. Like, you can hardly see the stuff coming out of the top. Right now I just got it rigged up to a funnel, which is just leaking everywhere because I just hacked it up. And there's a little leak coming out of the bottom, so currently it needs some more repairs. And I need to find a permanent spot. I wanted to make sure it worked first before I just like drilled a hole in the wall and ran a pipe out. But it definitely works, and it's throwing some nice heat. Burning good right now. I just had to use like a piece of paper as a wick. Seems to be working just fine.